Samantha Mascera has been a student at St. Stephen's for the past 3 years. During her time here, she has served as the National Honor Society treasurer. She's been a part of the academic team, part of the Latin Club where she served as the vice president, part of the musical, and she is a tea connoisseur. Please welcome Sam.
Good morning, everyone. Earlier this year in AP Literature, I was forced to sing the lines of Hamlet's Ophelia in front of the entire class. I was completely mortified at the time because it was absolutely not what I signed up for when I transferred into the class late. But looking back, I'm really glad I did it. Singing Ophelia's lines to the tune of Christmas songs in front of a bunch of people I didn't know very well was something I never would have done on my own. And it certainly traumatized me, but it also gave me the experience of facing my fears. I have learned that it's important to force yourself to do things you really, really don't want to do. I have definitely grown the most from the things I feared doing. Something most people don't know about me is that I actually get up to a lot of hobbies in my free time. Taking just one of them as an example, something like crochet can seem pretty scary and complicated from afar. It seriously feels like a towering mountain of skill. But once you dedicate the time and effort towards learning it, you can find the winding path up and around that mountain. And it's not really a mountain, just a slightly large hill. Once I had braved this mountain, I was rewarded with a really cool hobby. I have done more than my fair share of procrastination and quiz delay, but this message still applies to schoolwork. It's very difficult for me to find the motivation to do monotonous tasks such as math homework, sorry, Miss Bulletin, and I waste hours staring at it, attempting to finish it. But by making myself do these things, I am learning how to do things I really don't want to do. Again, it's a very valuable skill. It would be hypocritical of me to tell you to do your schoolwork, so instead I'm saying to dedicate yourself to doing things you don't want to do just because they seem too hard. Yes, you might be a very unhappy camper while doing these tasks, but the long-term payoff is the skill you gain from it. So if you take anything away from this, just push yourself outside your comfort zone as much as you can. Brave the hard road, because you can benefit a lot more from it than coasting along the easy way. This speech is also a message to myself, because I definitely still shy away from the things I am afraid of. But while looking back on the things I've pushed myself to do, I'm always so glad I did them. Now, there are some people I'd like to mention who have pushed me to do things I really didn't want to do that I've grown from doing. To all the teachers I've ever had, thank you. Whether you think you did or not, you've made an incredible impact on my high school journey. To Mr. Moore, Mr. Carlson, Miss Palmer, Miss Bulletin, Mr. Johnson, Miss Williams, and Mr. Unelli, an extra thank you for pushing me to do my absolute best. Mr. Forrester, I will miss your British sarcasm when I'm in college. To Mr. Whelan, thank you for making me love history as much as I do now. You challenged me, made me laugh, and told me stories I will never forget. I really enjoyed our tea time chats, and I'm fully convinced you are a vampire. To Mr. Rivard, your love for Latin is absolutely infectious. I especially love listening to you tell mythology stories and doing silly accents and voices in class. You've been an incredible mentor to me, always ready to offer words of comfort, advice, or to scold me for being lazy. Oh, and by the way, the philosopher beard rocks. To Miss McCormick, Mr. Skalecki, and everyone in the tech office, you make my mornings fun. Thank you for letting me mooch off your goldfish supply. You've encouraged me to do things I previously avoided, like creating tech posters. To Patrick, Evie, Reese, Edward, Maddie, Madison, Cameron, Pearson, and everyone else I can't fit on the list, I'm grateful to call all of you my friends. You guys are absolutely amazing. You've made high school, you have made senior year my favorite year of high school, and you somehow, get this, make school fun. To Jaden, you're awesome. You have such a passion for reading, writing, games, horror movies, and everything else. You put 100% into everything you set your mind to, and I really admire that. I love you. To Lexi, I guess you are a pretty cool sister. I remember years ago sneaking out of our room in the middle of the night to eat Doritos, play Minecraft, get caught, and then fight about whose fault it was we got caught. I know our relationship has been rocky, but I do love you. To my parents, thank you for putting up with me all these years. Despite being an absolute joy and the best thing that ever happened to you, I know I am not always a picnic. Among other things, you taught me the importance of hard work and self respect. Two things I can't express how much I value. I love you both so much. Mom, thank you for staying up with me all those late nights for study help. I wouldn't have made it through any of my math or history classes without you. You are the reason why I love reading, logic, and learning. I wouldn't trade that for anything. You're the greatest mom ever. Dad, you have taught me lessons that I will remember for my entire life. You're funny when you're not making dad jokes. You've always called me your mini me. I remember when you taught me how to ride a bike, how to use chopsticks, how to drive. I always brag about your cooking. Thank you for raising me with tough love. I value that more than you know. I will really miss you when I'm in college. Thank you all for listening.